Welcome to the Good for Business show, and do not adjust your sets. Yes, I am up late tonight. It's not early morning, and I am super excited to have you here, Louise Brogan. We are going to talk LinkedIn for business tips. It's my turn to host you this time.
Yes. So, it's not that late, is it? Surely. It's not like 8 o'clock.
Well, normally, it's 7 o'clock at night, but normally I'm doing these at 7 in the morning. So most people expect me to be up bright and early. So I feel like this is past my bedtime, even though you say I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Well, very nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
We are going to talk LinkedIn for business. So, because I believe that LinkedIn for business is very different to how you go about LinkedIn for career seekers, which is not a space that I play in. I prefer to play on the business side of things. And of course, company pages is a big part of that. But before we jump into this discussion, for anyone that perhaps hasn't come across your YouTube channel, your podcast, tell us a little bit about you and your business and how you help people.
Sure. So my name is Louise Brogan. My business is LinkedIn with Louise. I live just outside Belfast in Northern Ireland, and I work with small to medium-sized companies who want to have visibility and get leads and sales on LinkedIn. And I have a podcast. It's 211 episodes old, which I'm amazed by sometimes. And a YouTube channel, which I'm loving playing with. I've been doing that for about a year, and I'm an official monetized YouTuber, which I think is awesome to be a YouTuber in your 40s. Yay!
That is amazing, because I know how much work goes into building a YouTube channel, and I'm on 198 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And those last two, like if anyone's watching today and you're not subscribed, please go and find both of our channels, because we'd really love. What's the name of your channel, Louise, on YouTube?
LinkedIn with Louise. Pretty simple.
Easy to remember. So for those that are joining us live, we actually, you're part of an experiment and you didn't know that that's what you were turning up for. And so we're trying something new, and you'll see it scrolling across the screen asking you to use #good to go in the draw for a signed copy of Business Gold. See how I got that right? I practiced that before we came on. So anyone that's here, #good, throw it in the comments and you'll go in the draw at the end of this live if everything works. If it doesn't, you've been part of an experiment, which is normally reserved for John Asperian, but I'm having my own. I'm going rogue. So question for you, Louise.
Yes.
Start with the first one. How do you think LinkedIn is actually fundamentally different between LinkedIn for business and LinkedIn for career seekers?
Oh, it's so different, isn't it? To me, it's completely different. And I actually have done workshops for university students and graduates talking about, how to get a good profile as they leave university and go off to their careers. And it's a completely different talk, because if you are looking for a role, your profile is going to be set up for that. Whereas if you are on this platform to get business, whether you are a product-based business or a service-based business, your activity and your profile is all actually more aimed at your ideal client and how you can help them. And you become, I like to think of being seen as a resource to my clients and potential customers and clients. So all the content that I put out there is to help people who want to use LinkedIn for business. Whereas so my niece actually has become slightly more active on this platform. And she is just left university. She got her master's. So I was like, oh, right. So you need to start talking about the conversations in the industry that you're working in, and maybe sharing articles from people who are further along in their career than you, or commenting on those people's content and getting seen in the industry that you want to work in. Whereas with business, it's more about what do your customers and clients want to know about your product or service that you have. And that's a very different way to approach LinkedIn, I think.
And I think if you're a business owner, you should listen to what you've just shared there and go flip side. If I want to attract top talent, I've got to make sure that what's out there on this platform aligns with what are the values, what are the needs of those people that will become job seekers, because especially with company pages, part of their role, we often talk about sales or business development on LinkedIn, but it's also for companies. It's attracting career talent, the best of the best, and showing them what it's like to work for your company is a really cool way that you can go around it. So,
yeah, well, it's interesting, Michelle, because I don't know what it's like in Australia, but in the UK and Ireland, there's a big issue in finding people and attracting talent to your company. And I'm actually getting approached by organizations saying, Louise, can you teach us or help us with our LinkedIn company page? Because we want to attract the right talent to our company. And that's an interesting space to be in. But yeah, talent acquisition is a big piece of company pages, I think, at the minute.
Yeah, and probably a bad example given the news this week, but I often share about the Netflix company page on LinkedIn, which is bad timing, and I need a new example. But when you have a look at it, it's a really great page that shows what it's like to work there. And again, bad timing, need a new example. But ultimately, if you have a look at the content that they put through, you can see they're trying to find the right fit employees. They want to be visible. They show you their business values, which I think is really important as well as a company to share the values that your business has. And so it's a normally really cool page to go and check out. And I would send everyone there, but attracting top talent doesn't seem like the right words to use for them at this, just given the news that's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, one of the arguments, which we'll go into in a moment, but there's often a fear for business owners that if I get everyone active on LinkedIn,
are we going to be having arguments?
Are we what?
Are you and I going to be having an argument? No.
I hope not. No,
Sorry,
well,
Michelle.
we can. I tried that format last year in another live. But yes, with that, we can actually, let's have a look at it. LinkedIn for Business. How do business owners set employees up for success on the platform?
Oh, this is one of my favorite things to do. So I had a meeting with one of my clients on Monday, and we literally went through this process. So when your company is invested in using LinkedIn to, showcase the products, the people, whatever it is you're doing to attract people and to get leads and sales for your business, your employees are your secret weapon. So if you get a strategy in place, and this is Michelle and I both do this. Well, yeah, I know that you do this, Michelle. If you work with a company and I come along and we're creating content for your company page, the best success you can have is that you also empower your employees to understand how to use LinkedIn, bring them in, like include them in helping with shaping the content, put them into the content as well. Like one of my clients this week, she's got a new puppy and there's a picture of her sitting at her computer with and she's literally got like the company logo on her water bottle and putting it on the company page, talking about, new team members joined the company. How does this help your company? Your employees, if you train them and empower them how to use LinkedIn, they will share that content to their network. Everybody who works for you has their own personal network on LinkedIn, so you're amplifying the reach of your company like tenfold or even more maybe. But if you aren't including your employees and you're just putting stuff on the company page and you're not even using, a lot of people aren't even using the notify employees tool, which is when you have a post and you 3 little buttons at the top right, click on notify employees, lets all your employees know that there's a new post on the page. If you're not even using that, your team might not even know that there's content on the page. But if they do know it's there and you notify them, you're actually giving them something that they can write their own post about on LinkedIn. And that's using their profile and their visibility as well as your company. So it's a win-win for everybody.
I know, right? And this is what I would recommend to business owners is that the more, for instance, you use the company page to build up your employees, you get your employees on board so they see what's in it for them. Let's not skip over that step and just try brute force. Spoken about that many times, never going to work. But there's, unfortunately, there's too many people that skip to the, hey, Louise and Michelle, can you just do it for us and don't do any assessments of, who have you got in your team? You may have superstars in your team already, or you may have people that if we recommend that they do a post, they go running the other way. And so you've really got to set yourself up for success. Do you think that a 100% outsourced program so you, me, any other business out there, without any input from the company even works?
It might work for a while, but it's going to work so much better if your team are on board. I think Mick has put something on there about, you know, company culture. If you can go to, so say you have a team with the clients that I usually work with, there's maybe like 10 or 15 people. It's a smaller sized organization usually. And if you've got 10 or 15 people in your team who are going to be part of this, why not ask them, is there somebody who would be, you know, interested in getting more visible? Is there anybody here who'd be interested in like creating little videos for us for our company page? Because there probably is. And that's what happened in the meeting I had with my clients on Monday night. One of the ladies actually has a YouTube channel about something completely different, very, very comfortable on camera. And she says, yeah, I'll do that. I'm happy to do that. I'm like, brilliant. We have got a star in the making here. She's going to love it because people are going to start paying attention to her and it's raising her profile. But she's actually helping the company at the same time. It's like, you know, there have been clients that have come to me, Michelle. I'm sure you've had the exact replica situation where they have said, here's our company page, or we don't even have a company page. You set it up, you manage it, and we'll leave it to you. I actually had this, 10 years ago, I started my business and I used to do social media across all platforms. And I used to run Facebook pages for a lot of local small businesses. And it was just hilarious because they didn't have a strategy. They didn't know who they wanted to attract. They wanted to attract everybody. Who's your product for? Everybody. I'm like, okay, well, you know, what content are we going to be putting on the page? I don't know, that's up to you. I remember going to like a kebab shop and taking pictures in the kebab shop for their Facebook page and just going like this. I was brand new to all of this, just going, I'm not sure this is going to work actually.
Yeah, there has to be a lot of partnerships for success, whether it's, you know, outsourced or done internally. What I recognize is the strongest fundamental foundation of all of this is getting everybody on board before we even step onto LinkedIn, because that's the steps that we always seem to like jump. And then it's like, it lasts for, I'm going to say maybe 3 months max based on, you know, almost expectation or force. And then you see things just down.
Yes.
And then because there's normally someone that's driving it, they get exhausted. They don't get any acknowledgement from above. I wholeheartedly believe if you're a CEO of a business or an owner of a business and you manage a team, you have to have a presence on LinkedIn if you expect everybody else to, because you set the standard. And in my personal experience managing all kinds of different pages, if you don't do that, straight down the toilet, because bit by bit, everyone drops off over time. So, you know, for me, have some conversations up front. Find the stars, like Louise just said. You know, maybe you've got someone that is always taking photos around the office. You know, whenever the birthday cake's out, you've got that person that seems to collect the photos. Like, take advantage of what different people are good at. Same as if you've got technical people that are out doing sales, you know, presentations. You know, get them on board as well. Use everybody's best skills. But if we're doing all of this stuff, right, let's think about this. So the company's investing all this money. We're building up all of our team. Here's the fear. Is the fear that someone comes along and I'm going to lose my staff and we're going to get poached and it's all going to be for nothing. So why should a company bother about the personal brands? Will they get poached?
This is a question I get asked all the time as well. And I think it's way bigger than what's going on LinkedIn. People are ready to leave your company. It's not because of what's going on LinkedIn. Have you created a company where this person really feels like they are part of the team and the company? But the way, I think what we're talking about is, you know, sharing content from the company page that gives the person something that they can go off and create content around, or showcasing them on your company page. What a person does with their own LinkedIn personal profile, I mean, it is their personal profile. It doesn't belong to you as the company owner. There's certainly things that you want your team to do. You want them to be connected to your company page on their profile, have it in their experience section, commenting and engaging with the content on the company page. If that person is going to leave, they're going to leave regardless of whether they have a amazing LinkedIn presence or not, I think, Michelle.
Look,
What do you think?
No arguments from me on that one. It will not be LinkedIn's fault. It's that simple. People will leave. That's part of life. It's, if you have all of this set up for success and they build their own personal brand, it's only going to reflect great back on your company, even if after they leave, because it will always show up as the history. They'll have conversations with people in their new jobs. What do you want to leave that with? And so for me personally, you're right. You don't have any right to force someone. It is their own personal profile. But it's when you get to the bottom of that and dig in and go, what's in it for them? Like, why should they bother helping if there's no acknowledgement, there's no KPIs, there's no reward? Duh, it's never going to work. And it's probably going to spill over into other areas of your business and be the reason that people leave, potentially. And to your early point, it can also be the reason that people will come and work for you. So I think there's that side, so it works both ways as far as I'm concerned, on those kind of things. So if we have a look around LinkedIn, so there's a lot of conversation around building up thought leadership, and thought leadership is often kind of directed at individuals. LinkedIn did a huge investigation and report called the Edelman Report. So LinkedIn and Edelman, and it was all about, the B2B buyer. And what they found was it was all about thought leadership, because when I'm a buyer, I go search the internet for answers. And more often than not, here's what happens. Type into Google, I want to know about XYZ. And then what happens is you get an SEO written blog, which is the same on 25 different pages. I find that so frustrating that they're all same, but different. No originality. So what about some of the tools that you think are good on LinkedIn where businesses can actually highlight some of their thought leadership and drive conversations?
I think, so I love the Edelman Report. I think it comes out every year.
Yeah.
I think a tool that is completely underused is video on LinkedIn. If you can get your CEO to do a video talking about the subject that they are an expert in, I think that's a fantastic resource. I don't know if you listen to Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett, Michelle.
No.
So it has blown up over here. It's a brilliant podcast, but every time I look at LinkedIn, I'm seeing a quote from somebody about him. He's one of the Dragon's Den guys here. I can't remember the name of his business. I'm sure people in the comments will know. But he's a real thought leader, and I can see his content. He's doing videos, he's doing podcasts. So there's lots of tools you can use. LinkedIn give you tools as well. You've got LinkedIn Live, which we're doing right now. You've got the LinkedIn newsletter. What I love about the newsletter is that, and I didn't realize until somebody pointed it out to me, when you write the newsletter and people are subscribed to it, it goes into their inbox in their email off of LinkedIn, which is amazing. So it's a really, really great reach there. So there are tools like that, but I honestly think I did a poll, started last week, asking people, did they see themselves as a thought leader or want to be seen as a thought leader? Had the most fascinating discussion underneath it. There's a real cultural difference. Some people in the UK cringe at the thought of being called a thought leader, whereas a lot of my lovely American connections are like, absolutely, I'm a thought leader. I don't want to be seen as a thought leader. So it's interesting. It seems to be a little bit divisive, I think. But it's basically getting out there and giving your opinion on something. Like you could be giving your opinion on how people are using LinkedIn. Like somebody said in the comments, they hate people putting birthday cakes on LinkedIn. That is, that's an opinion. I love that. They share your opinions and you attract and repel people based on whether they agree or find that interesting or they're converted by what you've said. So yeah, there's lots of tools out there. I think the new tool that's out this week or last week, whatever it is, they're putting a link in your personal profile on the introductory card for the LinkedIn Creator Mode. That's really interesting because what are people going to use that for? Like I put my current link is to this exact live that we're doing right now. Afterward, I'm going to share, it's probably going to go to my local Northern Irish Belfast Women's Networking event in June. And other people are saying, well, I'm going to use it to send people to a webinar where I'm being seen as an expert, or I'm going to send people to my podcast. So I think that's a really interesting development. I'm just I'm really intrigued to see what's coming next down the line for people using creator mode.
Look, I think there's just so many tools that are coming through from LinkedIn at the moment. And when I had like Michelle Berg from the LinkedIn team on my live last week, what was really abundantly clear is everything that they're creating for pages will drive conversations, will drive communities. That is at the fundamental, what they're out to achieve is more of both of those things. And so I think creator mode obviously has its own goals, which would be, I think, probably centered around those kind of conversations, collaborations, communities. And I think we'll just see more and more tools. You're right. It is exciting to see all of them coming in. Hopefully LinkedIn audio might get off the ground. It seems like it hasn't quite hit the ground running, shall we say. But hopefully there's someone in the background that's madly trying to fix the bugs and make it, something that I did hear that companies would be able to, have that. But your employees could run audio rooms as well. So, and it's a great place to get feedback, and that instant thought leadership and rapport. So I have my fingers crossed for LinkedIn audio. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. Have you tried LinkedIn audio at all?
Okay. I'm not a fan of LinkedIn audio. I have not found, this sounds terrible, but I'm a very honest person. I haven't found a LinkedIn audio show that I really wanted to listen to. I tried a few at the start, and I went in and I thought, this is just egos on a stick. Sorry.
Staring at your belly button, talking about LinkedIn audio for the sake of LinkedIn audio. So that was my personal
experience. I just thought this person is on here not to listen to have conversations with anybody else, just to hear themselves talk. And I didn't, so it put me off. But then I was never a Clubhouse adopter because I'm an Android user. Yay, I'm Android. So I was never a Clubhouse adopter. I do like Twitter Spaces, which is an audio, but again, I'm very selective about the ones I go to. But that's the point, isn't it? You find shows that you're interested in. What I do find very interesting about LinkedIn Creator is I see monetization coming with it. And that's, building the following, and it's really interesting. They're talking about community. So our group's going to finally get the life that they deserve because that's challenging to get engagement in your groups. But if you look at a platform like YouTube, their biggest success and the reason so many people go to YouTube to create content is because we are getting paid by YouTube, but then that's all the ads. So you're thinking, well, if I'm building a community, am I going to have advertising coming in? And then look at Facebook ads and all of that stuff. That is a complete wormhole. I don't think we've got time to go down today.
Look, I'm surprised we haven't been down the rabbit hole, the wormhole, either or already, because there really is so many different ways you can go around LinkedIn as a business owner. Like there is, so many tools for your employees, so many new tools coming on your company page. One of the conversations that I get asked is, should I have a company page newsletter? Should I have a personal newsletter? And in every single way. So I think what happens is it can be quite overwhelming for businesses that just go, hang on a minute. Like, what is going on here? Where do I even start? So if I'm that person, I'm that business owner, where do you think people should start, Louise?
Well, I'm really glad you brought the conversation around to this, actually, because the majority of people on this platform are probably, anyone who's listening to us, they probably either they know this stuff or they're going, what are they talking about? All those features, I don't even know they exist. And that is my experience. I will get on a call with somebody and they'll say, we want to use LinkedIn. And I have to remind myself that most people have no idea that all these features exist and they don't really need them. So, as a business, you should have a company page. You should optimize your own profile and get your profile set up for your team and get some training on how to use the basics of LinkedIn. Let's start conversations around our business, our products, with our communities, our clients, and build relationships with people. I did hear Michelle and you speak last week, and I loved that she said that company page is going to be about building community. But let's be honest, folks, how challenging is it to get people to converse on your company page post right now? It's like pulling hen's teeth. Whereas on my personal profile, when I start conversations, it's just the most interesting thing, and they run away. And I know I have a small team of 3 people. It's different to if I was, running a sauna or something. That is different, but it is really hard to get people to comment on your company page post. So let's look at the basics. Let's get our products and services up there. Let's get links to our website. Let's highlight who works for us, what it's like to work for us. What do our products and services do for you? Let's train your team members how to use LinkedIn and start from there, rather than thinking, oh, sugar, we can't do this because we haven't got time to do newsletter and do LinkedIn Lives and do audios. And I'm running away. I'm away back to Twitter. It's safer.
Look, and that's what I've just literally done this week, is put together a bundle for business owners that is literally like, get your profile optimized for business, get your company page set up properly so it's optimized and aligned as well. Let's do the foundation training, and then we'll do a content strategy. Not let's keep posting, let's just post and skip all of the other steps and then go, why isn't that person doing it? I said that they should. And so I find that I appreciate everybody's eagerness. A company page I look at more as a library. It's not somewhere that really generates lots of conversations, although I do obviously generate those. But for the most part, I go, you know what? If somebody wants to know about company pages, I want them to come to the Good Trading Co. library, and I'm going to put everything that they want there, and they can have a sticky beak around. And you see people like multiple posts in a row. Like, it's like they went there for one thing, and then while they were there, just have a little look around and find out about whatever said topic is. Do you find that on your pages that you have and that you manage?
Yeah, you get notifications of activity on your page, and you're like, oh, that one person has literally gone through and clicked or commented. I'm like, woohoo, amazing, but generally clicked on something but like the last 7 things that you posted. And that's so funny. I have a question for you actually, Michelle. So because I know you're building your YouTube channel, and we need to get you up to 1,000, never mind 200. And do you then share your YouTube link on your company page, or are you uploading the videos? Because I love the video tab on the company page that people can go and see and just see the videos that you've created on there. So what are you doing? Uploading?
My simple answer to you is every single time I go live and it's my show, I do it on my company page. And when after I finish going live, it moves straight to the video tab. The beauty of using like StreamYard, which we're using today, this is why, everyone says, Michelle, you're everywhere. So what I do is I go live as per my company page. It then sits on the video tab. So it lives there forever. It's 12 months or so. It'll, live there for a long time. It goes to YouTube at the same time. It then goes to Twitter, and then I don't do Facebook, so it's not on there, but it could. So it goes everywhere. So for me, if I'm having a conversation with someone later, in the next month or down the track, and they want to know about LinkedIn for business, where should I start? What do? I just go back to the video that I've already done. I'll grab this live and say, Louise and I already answered all of these questions. And so it's that longevity that we spoke about that I'm looking for my content to go further. And so if I'm making shorter videos, which are how-tos, I think that's the style that seems to work better on YouTube. So I'll upload it directly there and not go live. So that's what I'm playing around with at the moment. I defer to you, the expert, if I've, misunderstood the power of YouTube. Like I said, I need 2 more YouTube subscribers to get to my 200. Louise, I know that you've got thousands, so a little way behind, but you inspire me to have a channel that actually is a place that helps people, because that's what I do my research. I go and have a look at your channel. I like to learn and watch, and I can just see how powerful you are because you're of service to people. You explain how things work very simply, very easily, but they get the answers to the questions. It's fundamentally that simple, isn't it? Or is it more difficult?
No, so basically, literally, when there's a new feature comes out, so I made a video about the new LinkedIn profile link. And then, I'm playing with shorts on YouTube actually. So I made a short as well. So those went up this week. And then what I do is, so this is like a mini lesson in content. What I do is I've written a blog post about it, and I've embedded the video into the blog post, which was why my Google Analytics has exploded, because YouTube is owned by Google. So there's the video is on YouTube. It's embedded into the blog post, which talks about the same thing. It goes out in my newsletter. I share it on my company page. All that good stuff I share on Twitter, and that is how I'm building up the video channel on YouTube, which I am really I'm just really enjoying it, because it's a new thing to me, I think, as well. Like, I'm a lifelong learner, and I think once I hit my monetization, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let's look a bit more at this now. So now I'm like mini obsessed. I lost 3 subscribers today. So because I was nearly at 2,500, and I lost 3 today. Because if I'd got 3, I'd have been over the 2,500. It's really funny how you obsess over numbers.
Honestly, I am watching and counting. The first 100 were the hardest, and then I got to customize the link. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I just want 2 more, and it's one of those things.
It literally just goes like this, which is amazing.
Yeah. And so there's what I guess to bring this back around, you can see that there's so many different ways for businesses to be able to create content on LinkedIn, maybe repurpose it off the platform, because we don't want this to become bigger than Ben-Hur and take up everybody's time. That is not the purpose of having a good LinkedIn strategy. It should be the most efficient way you can get the most out of the platform. But for people that just go like, how do you make content for a company page? What would you recommend as the best types of content in your experience that work best?
Okay. So I definitely come from a place of let's be of service and use to the people who are following us. So if you're following Michelle or me or my LinkedIn company page, it's because you want to learn about LinkedIn. So we are sharing tips and advice on how to use LinkedIn. For a client, so if I have an HR company I'm working with, and they've got a team of 10, so there's a mixture. There is a mixture of really useful information about HR policies. There is news and events, because if you work if you have to outsource your HR to somebody as an expert and the laws change, then you look to them to find out what's actually happening and what's going on there. And then there are bits about, here's who's in the team. This is who we are as a company. And then there are the whole bits about, here's who we work with, or here's a testimonial from a client. And this is why, we would love to help you in the same way and help you achieve the same results. So having a nice mixture of content. I know you have a 3-2-1 thing that you do, Michelle.
I do have a 3-2-1 thing. And if anyone jumps onto my profile and goes straight to the featured section, it's the very first post there. So the 3-2-1 strategy is what I use just to keep the things that you just described in the right balance. So I 1,000% agree. It's all about mixing it up. It is definitely not just one size fits all. No human on earth is the same as the next one, pretty much. So we've got to factor that in. We all learn differently. So jump onto my profile and go and have a look at that, and you'll learn more about the 3-2-1 strategy and how I go around it. So is there, before I move on to the experiment, the final part? So if anyone hasn't used #good to go into the draw for a signed copy of Business Gold, I got it again. I'm so impressed. Jump into the comments quickly before I manage to press this. So Louise, any last final tips before I press this magic button and see if the experiment works?
Yes, I have a very simple analogy of LinkedIn personal and company page. And if you go to your favorite industry conference, your personal profile is you walking around the conference, connecting with people, having conversations. Your company page is your sponsor booth over here that you can send people to and say, there, you can find out there what our products and services are, meet the team and find out more about us. I think that's, if you think of it that way, hopefully that will help people.
That is a simple analogy that I hope that people really get, that is the power of LinkedIn, that you can have both sides that work for your employees, for your business. Let's press this magic button, okay? Because if anyone wants to know, I am a little bit nervous about doing this. right? So just so you know, we've got 10 entries. So I'm very excited for those 10 people that have gone into the draw. So this is not rigged. I will put my hands up here. So if I do this properly,
They're all
I'm going
jumping
to
in now.
quick, last minute, hashtag good. Who else wants to go into the draw for business gold, signed copy, of course, you know, and I've been working on my signature. So going once, going twice, going 3 times. I'm going to press the magic button. All right, let's go.
Oh, look. Oh, how fun.
Oh my God, who's it going to be?
Oh, I love that.
Yolanda. Yay.
Yeah. I love
How exciting.
That's so fun.
It worked. Yolanda, it is you that is the winner of the signed copy of Business Gold. Thank you to everybody that jumped into this competition so that I could, you know, experiment with new ways that we could do cool things. So,
That's very cool.
but ultimately, Louise, it is always fabulous that I get to chat to you. We should do this more often. Make sure that we book something in. And I wanted to say, thank you to everyone for so many comments that were coming through. They were coming thick and fast. And I promise that I'll come back round for any questions that we may have missed. And I also I have to thank Craig Allen. He became subscriber number 200 on the YouTube channel. So I might arrange a book for him as well. So, because I can. It's my show, right? It's the joys of life. I'm going to have my own TV show. I told someone today I want to be like Oprah. You get a business gold, and you get a business gold.
I love it.
It's been fun. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone for joining us. I've had a blast. Louise, you're fabulous, and this has been great. I appreciate you.
Brilliant.
All right, cheers, everyone.